Hi everyone, today we'll learn this floral emboss or rose emboss effect in touchdesigner. The effect is super simple to make, so whether you're a beginner or someone just interested in creating this effect, you can follow along easily and create your own variation. So without further ado, let's get started. I will teach you create all these three effects, and let's start with the first one, which you need a movie file in. In here, I'm using the one come with touchdesigner, the trillion. And then you connect it to a emboss top. I will close the rest. And now we have the emboss. We want to add a ramp. In the ramp type here, we choose circular, and we need to add a displace. Connect ramp to the first input and emboss to the second input, and now we'll view it. Already it looks quite nice, and then you can change the output resolution here. I will just change to parent size in my case. I'll stop the music, and then we want to animate the face of the ramp. To animate the face of the ramp, this time we are not using the abstime.seconds, which is always the thing I'm using, but until recently I watched a tutorial by Turk. He lists out the pros and cons of why we should not use abstime.seconds and how it's being misused everywhere, and what are the better alternatives. So take that knowledge in mind. I immediately apply in the tutorials here. Really recommend to check out his channel. He's a great YouTuber, more on the technical part of the touchdesigner. It's been a while I haven't created tutorial because I don't feel like my tutorial is good, and he's someone I really like, and I think his way of teaching is super clear. Someone I look up to, so definitely check him out, and I think it will be helpful for you too. And then to animate the face, we need a increasing value, constant increasing value. To do that, we add a constant chop. And then here we just change it to speed, add any numbers in here. I'm putting 3 and connect it to a speed, and then add a rename. Change the name to face because this is the parameter we're gonna drive. So now we have this speed. We're gonna chop it to the face here, and I'll multiply by 0.1 to slow it down. And now we have an animated version, and the black and white also looks quite nice, but if you want to add colors, simply click on the spectrum of different dots and then start to add colors here and there, and then you have this kind of colors, and then so maybe that's the basic of this visual. Let's create another one, which we add audio reactivity to it. This time I'm adding a video instead of a picture, so it has a slowly moving speed and very suitable to add emboss effect to it. So this is the same, add the movie file in, add emboss, and then create 2 ramps, still using the face to drive it. And then I just add 2 different colors and add to a switch, and here I'm using the red one. Connect to displace the ramp at first input, emboss second input. For the audio reactivity part, I did 2 things. The first, animate the face here. I always use a constant value such as abstime before. Now I'm gonna use the speed chop for this. Once you have this constant increasing value. That's one part. To add audio reactivity, I always use, for example, high frequency or overall frequency of the audio divided by 20, 30, etc. You just add on top of a constant value. In that way, you are moving subtly to your audio. Quite nice. And then the second thing I do is I added a texture on top of the embodied effect. We can compare the ones with and without. So this is the ones I didn't add. You see, maybe I should add a background, but you get the idea. Here you can see the subtle movement. The texture is changing based on the kick. Okay, and this one is the right one is without. So to do that, I just add 2 noise, or you can just use a simple noise. Turn on the period to become very blurry, and then use the kick count to animate the seed, and combine them together to the old one. Finally, I add another variation, which I'm using a lookup. The first input is the emboss, and the second input is our ramp. So it will give you these emboss with color background effect, and then I just add to a layout, combine them together, and the final one, the bonus, connect the same ramp, connect both of them to displays to create this effect. I think this you can build on top of this of many different variations and effects. It can be quite interesting, I think. I've seen these kind of patterns in other designers who make Adobe Illustrator tutorials. So once I experiment a bit more about this, I will create tutorials about that. So hope this is helpful for you. I'll see you next time. If you want the exact project files, remix-ready templates, and commercial use assets, they're all on my Patreon. Download and project notes included, so you can remix faster and focus on what you do best, and support me to create more visual assets for you. See you next time!